You're commuting home with Katz and Cosby. Now here's John Catsimatidis and Rita Cosby on 77 WABC.
We have Tim Sheehy, the new senator from the great state of Montana, and also a veteran too as well. Senator Sheehy, Senator-elect, we are so excited for you.
I like
congratulations.
using that word, Senator-elect.
I know, I love it. Senator, great to have you on. Congratulations. We had you here last time we had you on. You were in studio with us, and now you are going to Washington. Congratulations.
Thanks. It was a big win, and thanks for having me in studio last time. It was fun to be there. And, it was a big win across the board, coast to coast, up and down the ballot, black, white, Christian, Jew, whatever it was, all socioeconomic classes. I mean, America spoke. That was a decisive mandate that President Trump won with, that we flipped the Senate with. I won by 8.5 points. We've got 53 seats now. It was decisive, and the message was clear. Americans are voting on policy. They want to put America first. They're tired of the identity politics crap. They're tired of the DEI crap. They're tired of being told that the country's terrible, and that they're bad people. They want a government that works for them, and they voted their grocery receipts. They voted their gas bill. They voted for their children's safety and education. They voted for a secure border. And that vote was loud and clear. We won in a big way, and now we're going to deliver.
Yeah, you definitely did. By the way, what's your reaction as you know the news, because you mentioned the 53, Dave McCormick, that just came in a few minutes ago. Your reaction, Senator Sheehy?
Well, once again, people voted with common sense, and I think that's the theme of this election. I've been saying it constantly. Donald Trump's been saying it. Dave McCormick was saying it. That Americans want common sense back. They want a secure border, safe streets, cheap gas. Cops are good, criminals are bad, boys are boys, girls are girls. And they're sick and tired of all this craziness. They just want common sense back, and they voted that way. So Dave McCormick is bringing it home as well there. That's a huge win. Knocking off these long-term incumbent Democrats is extremely difficult. They have rivers of dark money that keep them in place. The power of incumbency is very real. And, of course, they have union leadership, not usually the rank and file, but the leadership with them. So they can be really, really hard to unseat. But, we got two of them out this time. And those are big wins, both of them. Tester here in Montana and, of course, Casey in Pennsylvania.
And everybody, we are talking to the new senator there from Montana, Tim Sheehy, who just won the big race, ousting John Tester. Judge Weinberg.
Good to talk to you again, Senator-elect. I'm very happy for you. Congratulations. And what's interesting about your win in Montana, as well as Dave McCormick's win in Pennsylvania, both of your opponents, incumbent Democrats, three-term incumbents, they always voted 98% almost with the Democratic Party and Schumer and with Biden and with Obama, and yet they try to wrap themselves around Donald Trump in the winning days of their campaign. Don't you think that's just ironic and wonderful?
It is, and as I see, this election cycle, the D on the ballot didn't stand for Democrat; it stood for deception, because you saw this up and down the ballot. Kamala Harris opened the border wide open and then pretended she was a border hawk. She wanted to ban fracking, then all of a sudden she's pro-fossil fuels. You got our three opponents, Sherrod Brown, Bob Casey, and John Tester, were, as you said, they were rubber stamps for the Biden-Harris agenda. You hear numbers like 91%, 95%, 98% voting record. The truth is, every time it mattered, every time a bill mattered, not these messaging bills, not this crap that, it's meant to, for a press release for the home state, every time it mattered, whether it was Inflation Reduction Act or border security, these three guys voted with Biden-Harris every single time. And they voted to impeach Donald Trump, not once but twice. So it was really pretty remarkable to see them running ads, trying to run on the coattails of the guy. They all voted to impeach who they wanted out of office so badly that even my opponent had gone on CNN and said we should punch him in the face. So they advocated for his removal from office, did everything they could to cause it. And then when it came time to be politically expedient for them, they ran as Trump surrogates. So people saw through it right away, and that's why they lost.
Senator Ed Cox here. What was the big issue in your campaign in Montana?
Oddly enough, the southern border. Obviously, we're a northern border state like you are. But as you see in New York, man, it's a short drive from Yuma, Arizona to Montana. Interstate 15, it's about 14 hours. And, people in Montana have felt it. Our tribal communities, our reservations, we have tremendous, millions of acres of Indian reservations with minimal law enforcement. So, the cartels have taken advantage of that. You get the drug trafficking and transshipment, the crime, the human trafficking. Human trafficking gone up 300% in the state over just a couple of years. Violent crime, missing Indigenous women, overdoses across the state. People were feeling it. They were seeing it. Montana State still Mayberry. Most people don't lock their cars or lock their front doors at all. So to see some of that starting to happen, people were very frustrated by it. It woke them up to the fact that the border doesn't just matter to Arizona and Texas, it matters to everybody. So I'd say that was the top issue recurrent. Of course, obviously the economy at all times. But as I remind people, the immigration and the economy are not delinked. When you inject 20 million people into an economy in an incredibly short period of time, that affects housing. We always hear about interest rates and inflation inventory when it comes to housing. But immigration is a massive cause of housing shortage in this country. You take 15 to 20 million people that were not projected, that are not part of your economic housing model, and just inject them into the market. They need a roof over their head too, and they're going to add tremendous demand to a pretty inelastic equation, supply and demand in economics. And the supply side of housing in the United States today, between regulation and labor and access to resources, it's pretty inelastic. So when you grow demand by 20 million people, that price is going to go through the roof, and that's what happens. So, the economic issues we've been seeing and our immigration issues, they're not isolated.
And Senator Elk, it's also true with respect to education in terms of facilities to teach these kids. It's also true with respect to health care. It also has a lot to do with who's going to pay for the Social Security and the Medicare. These are very important questions, and the Biden-Harris administration totally ignored them.
And you're so right there, and take it one step further to veterans. Montana, we're about 10 to 11% veterans in our state. That's the highest in the nation. The national average is about 1.5%. I, of course, serve as a Navy SEAL. My wife is a Marine, and over 10% of our state are veterans. So veterans issues are very important to Montana. And as you correctly pointed out, when we have illegal immigrants coming in this country, who are getting free food, free clothing, free housing, free health care, free transportation around the country. You're literally looking at illegal immigrants who are getting more benefits from the U.S. taxpayer than our veterans are. And that's just unconscionable when we literally have homeless veterans dying in the street. Montana's the number one state for suicide. And we're looking at the billions of dollars that are pouring into immigrant services. It's unacceptable to our veteran community. And in Montana, that's a very important, very significant voter bloc.
Well, Senator Sheehy, thank you so much. I'm going to tell you, you did very, very well. You won by 8.5 points. You know what the American people want, and they want the America that me and you grew up in, and that's what they want.
That's exactly right. And with these wins, we're going to be able to give it back to them. We saw what we did in 2016 when we had all three branches. And I think we've all learned a lot since then. We're going to get a lot of work done. We're going to fix these problems, and we're going to make America great again.
Thank you so much, and have a great weekend.
Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations. Thanks.